Dude. 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 Day 28, 30-day yapping challenge. What can I say? I had to cut my hair. You know, what I have been focusing on doing is stopping myself from making up a story before it actually happens. Now, when I can kind of see the through line of what could potentially happen, I don't know, my brain just does that. It's just like, okay, so we could do this, then this might happen, that might happen, that might happen, this might happen. But somebody told me to stop. I saw something very briefly that said to stop assigning stories to things, wait for the story to play out. I didn't see the whole video. My attention span is shot after 2 whole months of Fortnite and endless Instagram videos. But the story that I was thinking is like, I have this dream about me having dreads. And of course I can just grow the top of my hair out. And then some lady will crochet it. She'll cut them in half, right? And then make the rest of this dreads. I don't know. I'm not saying that I'll have dreads, but I'm not saying that I won't. Ugh. Yeah, I made myself a drink. For no good reason, I'm just kind of sitting around. Well, you wouldn't believe what song came on my my shuffle today. Electric Love by MGMT, I think it's called. $757 songs I got liked right now. Electric Love. But I am feeling an adventure warming up. And the thing about adventures is the prospect of you having to go do something because of a lot of people think of adventures, I'm gonna go and do adventure to go and have fun. Like every adventure movie where that's the case, where they're going on an adventure, bro, it's never fun. It's always some bull. And somebody brought that up recently, that right now it feels it feels like very dry and dead. Like nobody's saying anything, nobody's really doing anything, nothing's really happening. And this is suspicious. So, gotta be like Bruce Lee says, be water, because when the crash happens, you gotta be able to do both. You have to be able to crash and you have to be able to flow. Ebb and flow. Man, I kept thinking about that for some reason all last year. Ebb and flow. So, manning up is becoming a topic now. I saw a whole lot of montages about manning up, getting a routine, sticking to a routine, changing your life. And I didn't do much of it. I did some stretches, but nothing too intense. And I feel like we're moving into a time where I probably should have, reneged my stats. I just didn't like that, I was flexible, and then due to these circumstances, I'm no longer flexible. So now I have to redo all my flexibility training. But yeah. I do agree, it is very quiet right now. Very, non-problematic, very, like a thief in the night. It's exactly what it feels like. Because the night when nothing's really happening, like in between stories. I'm not saying I'm calling it or anything, but nothing has happened. So you're just gonna take me from things happening, and then I get the knowledge of everything that's happening. Like, they're about the knowledge. They gave me an influx of knowledge that I kind of have to sort through. It's kind of like those parts in the movie, like an investigation movie, where they have to sort through all these files, and so many files, and most of the files are completely pointless. And then you find that one piece of information, this seemingly banal piece of information to everybody. And it's like, that's it. They about to set it off. I don't know what exactly is going to happen to propel the next piece of the story, but we had story happening, and then some exposition where we learned about, what was happening, and they gave us all this extra information, and we figured out kind of what was happening a little bit and what's about to happen. But there's a little piece of story in between what we know just happened and what's probably going to happen that, in the legal world, there's open area to write something in there. I look better in the mirror. It was crazy. Now I got this camera up in my face. It's like, do I really look like that? I don't know. But 2 days left. 2 days left, man. The one thing that I remind myself of pretty often, there's a scripture, I don't read my Bible all the time, but there's two things that I remind myself of. One is that in all these crazy situations that happen, I'm the one that experiences them. And I'm like one of the top guys to experience anything. Just as in your life, you should be one of the top people to experience what's happening. But me personally, I think everything that happens to me, it's a good thing that I saw it. And secondarily, there's a scripture right next to people's favorite scripture in the Bible. Second favorite is Philippians. They like Philippians 4:13. It says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Now, when people read that, they mostly read, I can win the lottery through Christ which strengthens me. Or I can make $1 billion through Christ which strengthens me, which is, yeah, that. But can you clean the kitchen through Christ which strengthens you? Can you be patient through Christ which strengthens you? Can you suffer wrongfully through Christ which strengthens you? I stole that from someone else, but yeah, a lot of people have that scripture, but I like the scripture that's before it. This is what I like about it. This is the one. It's Philippians 4:8. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." And I didn't realize how close those two scriptures were, but man, I love that scripture. I always think about it. I only now, just recently, figured out where it was, and I know exactly where it is now because of its proximity to that other scripture. But your mindset, you can, depending on what you're experiencing, you can just think about something else, and it gives you advice on like a whole bunch of different examples on what you can think about. And when he says think on whatsoever is, I think he said lovely. I lost it, but you do get to choose. The world shows you things, and it like encourages you to think on certain things, to think a certain way. But the option is always yours. And whenever I remember that scripture, I don't remember it often in the heat of the moment, but I feel like whenever I read something or I come across information, it goes into my soul. So that way, when I do enter into those situations, I don't remember the scripture, but my soul begins to summon things, like it has the instructions in my inward parts. So I begin to think differently. When I was in jail, I didn't think I was really in jail. Although I did want to leave, it was jail. When I was in the mental institution, it was the mental institution was worse than jail, in my opinion. Because they got you taking these psychotropic meds, and the psychotropic meds, man, I don't even know how to explain them. I really don't. I just did not like them. Like, it made me feel lost. Like I couldn't tell anything. Like I was locked inside of regular life. And I didn't know when I was going to get out. So it was like being stuck inside of a jail. I was like, man, this is crazy. But anyways, don't be afraid to be rejected. And you're all right. I know that you've got love. I know the things that you want to do. Everything is going according to plan. Okay, just stop resisting. Let it flow. Let it flow, man. Because life is not a problem. Life is a movie. Enjoy it. Peace.